Well, guys, this is absolutely hilarious, folks. Absolutely hilarious, man. I mean, 2020, guys. People on the left thought that woke was going to make them a whole bunch of money. They were gravely mistaken. This country did lose its mind in 2020, guys, when woke took over. I mean, Hollywood, the media, they thought that woke was a new thing because of George Floyd. And the George Floydification of this country was a detriment. It was not going to last. BLM is dead. They're broke. Antifa, nobody wants to support them. They're starting to get locked up. Democrats losing popularity big time. Nobody wants to vote for them. And the media, trust in the media is at an all-time low. All-time low. But going back to 25 years ago, guys, NBC, they got all in on the wokeness. All in. Maybe it was actually all a virtue signal. Maybe it was. But I believe, folks, this was a part of the Marxist playbook. One thing that has always bothered me, folks, is this Marxist playbook thing of the fight for LGBT rights. It's the same as black rights. Now, folks, what does being LGBT have to do with being black? It has nothing to do with black. But the Marxists have been pushing this for decades. Decades. The Black Panthers, man, they said, oh, the gay rights movement, their fight is our fight. Yeah. What does that actually have to do with being black? Nothing. It is strict Marxism, folks, the oppressor versus the oppressed. And to them, the white man is the oppressed and everyone else is the oppressor. Yeah. I don't believe people are actually falling for this grift anymore because this is all it was. It was a grift. And now NBC, man, I believe they've lost a whole bunch of money on pushing these woke programming, woke offsets of NBC. Yeah, they're shutting all that down. They're shutting all that down, folks. And 150 DEI hires, they've been shown the door. They have been shown the door, folks. Let's get into this. Here we go. Right over here. NBC cuts diversity verticals, lays off 150 staffers. The layoffs target about 7% of the total newsroom of 2,000 workers and 2% of the NBC news group at large. Folks, this stuff was not making money. It's just that simple. If this thing was actually making money, they wouldn't have cut anybody. But there's no money in being woke. No money in these woke shows. I mean, remember, they had Joy Reid, folks, on MSNBS. And she wasn't making money. Her show was terrible. All she did was race bait. Then she got fired. She got fired. And she was actually pushing Democrat Party propaganda. But at the end of the day, guys, it comes down to dollars and cents. And there was no money. There was no money whatsoever. It says here, NBC News is moving away from diversity initiatives in broadcasting and has eliminated its teams dedicated to covering issues affecting Black, Asian American, Latino, and LGBTQ plus groups, the Wrap reports. This is part of a sweeping layout plan that saw 150 staffers lose their jobs. Yeah. I mean, guys, who in the world was actually watching this stuff? Who in the world was actually watching this stuff? Now, down here, and we're going to go back over the other stuff. There was actually, folks, get this here. It says here, the terminations are in line with a separation of Peacock from the far left MSNBC network. NBC's diversity-focused verticals, NBC Black. I didn't know that was a thing. NBC Asian America. Didn't know that was a thing. NBC Latino. Didn't know that was a thing. And NBC Out, which is, the LGBT stuff, will continue publishing articles that focus on those topics will do so with far less staff. Yeah, I don't think that's going to last long either. I really don't. There's no money in this stuff. It was all a virtue signal. All a virtue signal. And this is how bad it is, man. A source told the Wrap that NBC News may ultimately retain up to 5 staffers who will contribute coverage on the verticals to the newsroom. 5. That's it. That's it. And Glad, boy, they're panicking. They don't like this whatsoever, man. This is what Glad had to say. Glad issued a statement to Advocate, an LGBTQ plus outlet, saying that the change is, quote, part of a dangerous pattern of mainstream media outlets choosing to lose trusted and talented journalists who focus on important LGBTQ news that otherwise is underreported or not reported at all. Really? Really? Important LGBTQ news. Folks, is there really a market for this stuff? I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Now, would NBC have ever put out NBC White? Of course not. They would have never done that. They would have never done that. But right here, it does talk about, I guess, the background of all this, man. Look here. It says it was in 2020 that NBCU chief Cesar Conde launched the diversity plans. Quote, the demographics of America have been changing for decades, and that change is accelerating, he said at the time. Women today make up nearly half of the American workforce and already earn well over half of all bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees. This year, for the first time, a majority of Americans age 18 and younger will be people of color. In 20 years, more than half of all Americans will be people of color. Yeah. The NBC Universal News Group is not going to wait for change to happen and just react to it. We're going to lead, said Conde in 2020. Now the news brand is trying to catch up. Well, it all went up in flames. It all went up in flames, folks. Yeah, nobody cares about this stuff. Nobody cares about this stuff. Nobody's watching the regular NBC news anyway. So what actually made them think that people are actually going to stick around for NBC Black, NBC Latino? I mean, that's not even a thing. Yeah. Now, look here, man. MSNBC makes history with 2 out gay black anchors co-hosting a news show. And this is Jonathan Capehart. And if you guys have seen him, man, he's out there. And Eugene Daniels, he's the black guy with the Afro Jerry curl. I don't know what kind of hairstyle you actually call that. But when you go down this route, man, it's going to backfire. Get woke, go broke. Get woke, go broke. No, Joy Reid was already out of there. Then I guess after that, they brought these guys in. I think they're on life support. Now, they're on the MSNBC side. And NBC wants to distance themselves from MSNBC. That's why they're rebranding to MS Now, which is really BS Now. Yeah, that whole thing is going to fall apart, guys. It's going to fall apart. The MSNBC brand is going away. NBC is trying to get away from all of the far left stuff on the MSNBC side, the woke stuff. It's imploding. It's imploding. This is a beautiful thing, man. This country is healing itself. There was never any money in this woke garbage, man. There was never any money in this. BLM's funds dried up quick. That whole scam, man. I mean, BLM was at a high in 2020. At a high. All these white liberals of white guilt giving up all their money, man. Waste all their money. BLM took that money and set it on fire, buying up mansions and everything. And now, BLM Global Network, done. Done, they're finished. Nobody cares about BLM anymore. And all this stuff, man, all this cultural Marxism really came out of BLM. DEI really came out of BLM. And who actually benefited the most from DEI? It wasn't black people. It was white women. Yeah, all this stuff backfired, guys. And now NBC says, we got to clean up this mess. We need to make some money. And there's no money in DEI. None. Now, of course, some of these companies are just rebranding the name to other stuff, but it's still going to fail. All this stuff was always a virtue signal. These companies out here with DEI departments, BLM departments, there's no money in this stuff. And it collapsed. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.